Welcome to episode 17 of Nudges and Bridges. This one is looking at the music of transcendence. And if you remember, episode 16 was about a sense of perspective. And one of the things that I indicated often happens with a sense of perspective is you slow down a little bit. You take a breath, you smell the roses, you take a step back from the activity and the pace of life. Well, I want to take an even further step back here with transcendence, because transcendence is something that in some ways elevates you even apart from what time is. It puts you in kind of a timeless kind of a moment where you are connected with something that is greater than yourself. And in particular, I think that this example or this stage tends to be very, very personal. Now, all of the others were personal, but they all had a sense of kind of a relationship, maybe with one exception in the self-discipline part of rules. But if you think back, us and them or us versus them, either way that you want to characterize that, there's a collective there. There's more than one person there. That's an us and a them. You're talking about multiple kinds of relationships. Similarly with rules, the reason to have your rules, other than again self-discipline, is you've got to have many people that are working together with some sort of a standard set of examples or rules. And of course, friendship and joy and perspective all have a sense, typically, not necessarily always, but typically, a sense of the relationship that make up the magic of life. But with the music of transcendence, or the notion of transcendence itself, that could exist with others, or it also could be something that is purely individualistic. And that's not to say that that's necessarily bad. It's just something that is particularly speaking to you in a moment, in a stage that you are in. So the music of transcendence puts one at one with a greater reality, such as the divine, the universe, nature, where time not only slows down, it almost seems to stop. Now, some examples here from my students, again, just to give you some examples and ideas that you might then use to create your own. Um, uh, I've had students that go very classical with Claude Debussy. I've had others that you can see A Live Nightmare with Curizon, and you can see the rust there, ending, interestingly enough, with John London's Imagine, which has struck me as interesting that even my 18 to 20-year-old students these days still look back to a song from way back with John London as something that puts them in that kind of state of mind. So your task here, as it has been with others, is to think of what kind of music not just gives you an opportunity to step back a little bit and assess what's going on, but puts you in a connection with the reality that in some ways is even beyond anything that you experience in a daily life, where time at least slows and maybe even stops completely. And that will do it for episode 17.